Okay, at this point, it's your turn to practice. So I would really challenge you to pause the video and see if you can do this page on your own, and then unpause and check your answers with mine to see how you did. So this very first example, we have two rectangles. We have ABCD and UVWX. And the first thing that we have to do is check angles to see if they're congruent. We see that A and U correspond. They both have a right angle measure marker, so angle A and angle U are congruent, and so I use the little equal sign with a squiggly on top to show that those two are congruent. And then I also have angle B. Angle B corresponds to angle V. They both have a right angle measure, so they're congruent. I have angle C corresponds with angle W. Those both have a right angle marker, and so they are congruent. And I use the little squiggly mark above the equal sign to show that. And angle D is congruent to angle X. So all of my angles are congruent. Now I have to see if corresponding sides are proportional. So it says identify which sides are corresponding. Sometimes if you want to use a highlighter, that can help. So I'm just going to kind of show you what I mean by that. Here I see that my two short sides, I can highlight them both in pink. And then I also have my two long sides, BC and CW, or I'm sorry, BC and VW, that I highlighted in green here to show, to set up a proportion. So I can set up my short side AB is 8/12, and I want to know, is that equal to my long side, 8/18. Is that proportional to BC over VW, so 12/24. And if you're not sure and you think you might want to use a calculator to help you, you can. Here we have 8/18 is equal to 0.4 repeating, and 12/24. Again, if you don't feel comfortable doing this in your head, you can use a calculator and use the divide button, is 0 5/10. Because these two things do not equal, we would say that these two rectangles are not similar. And they're not similar because their corresponding sides are not proportional. So even though their angles are all the same, their corresponding sides are not proportional, which means those two shapes are not similar. In this next example, we have two quadrilaterals. We're checking corresponding angles first. So in this case, I can see there's one tick mark, 2 and 2, 3 here and 3 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those will get tiny, but all of the angle, the tick marks, show us that corresponding angles are congruent. So we're good there. Now we just have to check the sides to see if they're proportional, and we have to set up our ratios and compare all sides. So I'm going to start with the side that goes from 1 to 2. From 1 to 2 is a side length of 8. And so on this other one, from 1 tick mark to 2 tick marks, my measure is 6. I want to know if that's equal to, from 2 to 3, I have another 8. And over here, from 2 to 3, I have another 6. Is that equivalent to, from 3 tick marks to 4 tick marks, this side length is 18. It's my longest side. From 3 tick marks to 4 tick marks, I have 13.5. And I want to know, is that equal to the last side length here, 4 to 1 is 10. And here, over here, 4 to 1 is 7.5. So now I'm asking myself, are these things equal or not? 8 divided by 6 is 1 3/10 repeating. 18 divided by 13 5/10 is 1 3/10 repeating. And 10 divided by 7.5 is equal to 1 3/10 repeating. And so all of those side lengths are proportional. And so we would say that these two shapes are similar. They're similar because corresponding angles are congruent. And corresponding sides are proportional. And then example 3 says, are these two similar? Again, I have 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, so my tick marks show that things here, I've got congruent angles. My side lengths, if I go from the angle 1 to angle 2, that side is 20. Angle 1 to angle 2 on my smaller shape is 15. I want to know, is that equal to, from 2 to 3 is 16, and from 2 to 3 here is 12. And then is that equal to, from 3 to 1 on my big shape first is 24, and then 3 to 1 on my small shape over 18. It's really important that we go big to small, big to small, big to small, and that we keep things in order and find corresponding sides correctly. Here I have 20 divided by 15 is 1 3/10 repeating. 16 divided by 12 is equal to 1 3/10 repeating. And 24 divided by 18 is equal to 1 3/10 repeating. And so all of those are equal, and so we would say that these are similar as well. And they are similar for the same reason up here. Corresponding angles are congruent, and corresponding sides are proportional.